Welcome, everyone, to Blood and Iron, Dead Man's Hands. Last we left off, the coterie Dead Man's Hand had their first real Primogen meeting, where the Primogen Council, including themselves, met with the prince to discuss the goings-on of the city, to update him on the various this and that's, to plan and the logistics of one thing or another, the movement of people, goods, money, traffic, blood, anything and everything that can be considered a commodity to these immortal beings. And so, upon doing that, they decided to do some investigating, trying to find out more about this Second Inquisition threats, and find out more about what happened to Primogen Ricotta and who she was. Because, as neonates, fledglings most of them, hadn't really had a chance to meet this Primogen, had instead been assigned to their sires, until being formed now. So, we meet our kindred on a new night. The issues of the Second Inquisition, knowing that they're here, has put the hairs on end. The idea that maybe more kindred will suffer, disappear, end up ashed. Well, that's something that no kindred wants for themselves. And so, let's start with some rouse checks for our lovely vampires. The only one getting a little hungrier upon waking is Alexandra. That painful urge to sink teeth and drink. What hunger are you at, everyone? We've got 4 for Alex.
2.
2 for Shriek.
1.
1 for Anna.
1.
1 for Kane. Okay. Only slightly more annoying than usual, Shriek, but manageable. Alexandra, it's less of an annoyance and more of a urge. An extremely strong desire. No matter what you look at, no matter how you look at it, you wonder, can it be used to feed me? Very prevalent are those thoughts. The thoughts of an empty stomach growling at you to be fed. Some describe that as a very literal voice. But you know very well that those urges have only become pronounced as a kindred. Whether it's to hurt someone, whether it's to prove you're right, or prove you're perfect, or just eat everything in sight. Certainly gives new meaning to I can eat a whole horse. Because doesn't that sound oddly like something that you would want to do? But first, we're going to follow Anna. Anna is on a prowl of her own, I would say. On a prowl that she's maybe done a couple of times since her embrace and coming here to the city of Dallas. This human, Roman, someone of keen interest, isn't he, Anna?
Keen interest. Certainly. It's hard not to care about him. Roman and I met in probably the worst places of our lives. Both a couple of fucking crazies in the crazy house. And patients in the behavioral unit of the hospital. Just passing by each other. Our chance, we decided we'd start talking. And we got close. And so close, in fact, that it just became normal and natural for us to always go to each other when something was wrong. And ended up biting me back, so to speak. I guess biting him back. When I was embraced, it didn't happen immediately. The change. At least it didn't feel like it did. I passed by so many people who didn't conjure up a single thought to me, just walked on by, just another stranger on the street. Blood on my clothes, hidden with only a jacket. I just walked. Just kept walking. Compulsively. Like I had so many times before. Back to him. And then he opened up his arms. And I just latched. And I took everything. I only really understood what happened in a millisecond, moment before it was too late, and desperately using what I knew from school, from what I knew with any sort of knowledge that I had, I tried to keep him alive. I held the wound, applied pressure. Who was going to believe that I didn't just kill him? Like Dad. So I called the only other person who would know. Who did know. Who I was. What I had done. I called Dr. Vale. And she was there. Already. In an instant, like she just predicted it. Already at the door, like she followed me. I begged her to help me save him. She gave him blood. And I don't know if he remembers anything. It's not that it really matters. There's a lot he does know. He knows I'm not human anymore. It's hard to really try and iterate what that means. I can't tell him more than that. He knows that Dr. Vale probably isn't human, if he even remembers her at all. And I'm wondering what else he does know.
So many questions about what goes on in his mind. You just have to know.
You're quiet again.
Am I? It's a Discord issue. Oh, Discord.
So,
Okay.
uh,
I'm gonna use a different mic for Discord. See if that helps. So, can you hear me now?
his voice is in my head, yes.
Alright, so, with that being said, you have a lot of questions about what goes on in that brain of Roman De Leon, don't you?
I can't read them. Thoughts. And I'm finding that the further into this I go, the further away I have to keep him. The biggest thought I have is he around me still, knowing I'm a monster, because he still cares about me? Is he doing it because he feels like he just... because he's addicted?
Could be any number of things. The only way to know is to ask. But will he tell you the truth? He's never lied to you before. Why would he now? But everybody lies.
The joke in that is that I'm the one who made him a liar. He asked to.
You're keeping your distance. You're seeing him as he goes about this and that from his daily routine. Getting off of work, saying goodbye to his colleagues, exiting the building, going to his car. Same as every other day.
It's not so simple. I can't just be near him. I'd like to use Unseen Passage.
Alright. Rouse for Unseen Passage.
Yeehaw. I just want to be near him.
A little hungrier, Miss Hannah. A little hungrier to force the blood, to force others not to see you. They subconsciously move out of the way, should you be walking toward them. They suddenly are distracted by this or that and avoid making any kind of detection of you, as if you are forcing them to not want to see you. You still are visible to your own self. Visible to anyone who could see past the mind games you play.
It's like I just want to vanish so much that people stop seeing entirely. Go blind.
They ignore. They ignore what isn't significant in their field of view in that moment.
Significant. Right. I take the opportunity. Always preparing to leave. I'm just going to get in the back seat. God, that scared the shit out of me.
My bad.
I wasn't looking at you, so I didn't anticipate it.
My bad.
I'm supposed to be scary, damn it. Alright, what? Do I need to roll stealth or anything to just
No, because he does not consider you to be of significance in this particular moment. He sees right past you, right through you, looking away. That sort of field that you generate in that way to play those mind games. He's putting something in the back seat, and you take the swift opportunity to climb in the back seat with whatever bag he just threw back there. He climbs into the front seat, starts the car, and begins to drive.
just watching? I watch how the city lights frame his face. I watch how his eyes twitch across, looking through the streets, paying attention to the road and what's going on. For a moment, maybe I'm curious.
He puts on the radio to his favorite station.
With the music being turned up, and I pull my knees up into my chest and lean over and start rummaging through things. Open up whatever it is, the bag that he put in the back. Just want to see what's going on in his life. What are you doing, Mama?
Now the question is, do you have Silence of Death?
Isn't that a good question? Ooh. Do I? I do!
Which does mean that so long as you maintain a relative silence, things that you touch, things that you walk on, things that you rummage through, as long as you're not drawing attention to yourself, you are completely quiet. Deathly quiet, even in some cases.
This isn't weird at all. This is totally what lovers do.
And you look through his bag. You see that he has the clothes that he wore to work. He is currently in his work clothing at the moment. You see a couple of random things like pens, his wallet, which has his ID and everything else, has all of his personal information in it. You see that there's his cell phone, which he doesn't keep by his side in the car, which is a bit of an oddity, but having it put away in his bag instead while he's driving.
So safe.
You see his mental health medication. You see snacks. Seems like rather ordinary stuff.
Pull some of his clothes. Lift them up to my face. And just smell the chrome on them.
Are you on purpose being very loud?
No. She's just being weird. Just let me have this moment.
Little weird moment. Little weird, quiet moment in the back seat of Roman's car.
I'm doing it so the mic can pick it up. I want everyone to know I'm sniffing. Just back in the back seat, sniffing his clothes. Appreciating his cologne.
Mm-mm.
It smells like home. Home to her. And she's just looking through all the different things. She pulls out a spare jacket. Thinks for a second. Would he miss it? Would he miss it?
Your eyes periodically go to his very lean neck. You know that you're a little bit hungrier now.
Mm.
Just a sip. Just a sip would do just fine.
Stop it. But you know she rebukes it. She finds her hand just slowly lingering, maybe caressing the back of his neck.
That
Just
would get his attention.
Would it?
It would. Because you're drawing attention to yourself that way.
She doesn't touch him, then. Maybe it just stops short of it.
Tempted. Very tempted. You want to feel that neck under your teeth again.
And brings her hand back and bites her finger. Piercing her own thing. Making her finger bleed just a little bit. This rush of anger, frustration. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. And his vehicle, pulls into his home, his driveway, to his apartments.
Pulls into parking space in his apartment and goes to get out of the front seat and goes to the back seat to go to claim his bag. You know that for certain.
I close the back. I keep the jacket.
You stay in the car, or do you find an escape?
I move out of the way so that he can reach the bag without touching me. And as he pulls it out, I slip on back through out the vehicle.
That is going to require a little bit of maneuvering, so I'm going to have you do a dexterity and stealth.
Hooray!
Because you're trying to do so quietly and agilely.
Do you do it or no dice?
Well, let's see. He's an average human. Doesn't seem to notice. Doesn't seem to notice that you are climbing out of the vehicle as well. And takes his bag. Kind of shakes it a little bit for a moment. Huh. Goes to open it. I could have sworn I put that in there. Must have left it at the fucking... God damn it. And he goes fishing for his wallet and his keys and pulls them out of the bag and climbs up the stairs to his apartment.
I just watch him from the vehicle. And somehow it feels like my chest hurts.
You want to be near him?
I'll hold him. I want to touch him. But I can't do any of that. Not now. Not safely. But maybe I can just send him a message. I pace around the vehicle for a moment, realizing I don't have any paper on me.
You also overhear that he's used the keys to walk into his apartment as well.
I just stand outside and watch as the lights turn on. It moves around in shadow before I see him on the balcony. Maybe smoking. Just outside. And I continue like that. Just watching. Silently. slowly goes back in. I want to send him a message.
Could always text him.
I could text him. I could. But the moment the thought crosses my mind, so too does the thought of hunters, of other kindred, of everything else going on. I can't do anything.
How you wish that you could be oblivious to all of this night life. Again, it was simpler, safer, unknowing. Ignorance is bliss, they say.
I just wanted to vanish. Just disappear quietly. Now I can't even do that. It won't let me. The moment the sun rears its head, I flee back into the shadow, and then fall into dead sleep. It's not even truly sleeping anymore. I'm just stuck with myself for hours. Just fucking stuck with myself. I can't.
Never alone.
For alone. Never alone again. So, I make my way to do the one thing I can do. Continue playing this fucking game.
Where do you go, Nana? After spending roughly several hours following Roman's life from the distance that you can view from the outside, looking in at a second-story apartment.
I'm gonna find Colette. I've decided I'm not gonna be afraid. Not of hunters. Or of other kindred. I don't want to be. So I gotta make sure that it isn't going to be a problem. I think Colette would agree with me.
Make me an intelligence insight. Oh. Well, that's 0 successes.
No, the fuck it is not.
Oh, your willpower, right?
Actually, no, it's fine. I don't need to worry about it.
It is a bestial failure. So,
Hit it! I'm here for hot topics tonight.
all right.
What we got?
What we got? We got we got a desire to do some harm.
Harm. Harm.
Harm, as the compulsion would state, would mean causing damage to something or someone of importance to either yourself or another person.
Okay. I'm also Malkavian.
Mm-hmm.
This is a problem.
Which means that compulsions cause problems.
It's to a failure or compulsion, they suffer a dice penalty equal to Bane severity 2 for me, to one category of dice pools. For me, there are certain qualifiers here. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. This is going to be a hot topic. All right.
Yep.
So all my social pools are going to be affected. And there's a condition to relieve this.
Okay.
If you need to read my page specifically,
I will read the page.
I would advise it because I just did a whoopsie.
You just did a whoopsie. Okay.
I just did a whoopsie. Hot topics. Let's go. Strong narrative choices. I think we should move to a different scene.
Well, I was going to have you find Colette.
That's fair.
Which
but I mean a different someone else first because I need to mentally prepare myself.
Okay.
I need to analyze this so I'm not causing issues.
Fair enough.
The issues are for me, not for other people. But well,
that's fair.
We'll figure it out. We'll workshop it.
No problem. Not a problem at all. So, which leaves us with Shriek and Alex. Shriek and Alex, where can we find you right now?
At this exact moment, I'm going to be here arriving at the wonderful little shop that Alex ended up having set up. I mean, after all, I'd like to end up considering myself a well-read individual from time to time. Hopefully Kane didn't eat up all the stock. Nevertheless, it's going to end up paying out in that regard. My mind is currently occupied with, well, knowing exactly how Tyrone's doing. Big T's on the job for me on getting involved in a little bit of a hiccup. Namely, Kaufman's home. Now, I hate the bitch, but fact of the matter is that I'm in a good position to be able to end up keeping her in line.
Which Tyrone does give you an update that he has been in contact with the bank and with her, strangely enough.
It's to be expected.
Hasn't made any progress yet, but that is to be expected over a couple days. But he has made
Nevertheless,
contact.
there's that. And hopefully that ends up keeping everything clear, especially when it comes to the Second Inquisition. See, everybody's just all in a tizzy about it. Me, I smell opportunity, along with the bullshit that's coming our way. But when you're in these times, idle hands make for the devil's playthings. I'm feeling a little bit devilish myself tonight. So, because of that, I'm going to end up spending just a bit of time going into Alexandra's shop. See what's on the Tremere's mind. After all, she's supposedly a very learned girl. And it also ends up meaning that, well, she might have something going on when it comes down to it. Other than that, I got some errands to run. A little bit of the local bit, a little bit of feeding, a little bit of snooping, a little bit of gathering, all the little things. Because I got a whole new domain to hunt in, and that gives me contacts in all new walks of life. So, Drake walks into the shop. I'm sure there's that annoying little bell on the door.
Ding.
Announcing his presence.
Obvious smell of incense and everything would hit him, but he probably wouldn't see Alex downstairs yet.
Oh.
In fact, the staff probably haven't seen her downstairs just yet either.
Well, I'm not just curious.
Can I help you? Says a staff member.
Oh, don't mind me, just a friend of Alexandra.
Oh.
Is she in today?
She hasn't been down yet.
Now I just feel disappointed. But maybe you can help me.
I mean, I'm sure she will be at some point.
Oh, well, I hope so. Maybe she's got her nose stuck in a book. What has she been reading these days?
Heck if I know.
Pardon. My hip. They call me Kane.
Kane.
Well, Dad put it to my backside so many times, eventually the name stuck.
Oof.
What's your name?
Does this person have a name, Alex?
Not that I've given them.
Then I'm just going to call them Claire.
Claire, lovely. Love. Claire, I'm mostly just end up here taking a look, but I am kind of curious about staff and all that. After all, Alexandra doesn't speak much about the job. I just know that she's coming to quite a collection. I mean, how does somebody even get involved in this kind of thing?
Very carefully. And with lots and lots of collecting. In the time that I've known Alex, this is just the start.
And Drake will busy himself with this little bit of discussion. Keeps sneaking in, gathering little tidbits about Claire as he goes. Maybe even see if he can figure out where she lives or anything such. After all, she might be a little bit of a snack later on. And it's always good to know Alexandra's people.
She does dress very similarly to Alex. In in that it's often very much in black with very little color. The color is strictly inner purple hair. She wears a crystal around her neck that's also looks like a purple amethyst. She is
She's got a purple motif going on.
a little bit black and purple, yeah. She does tell you, since you seem to be so charming. In fact, I want a charisma check. I want a charisma and persuasion. Yep.
Okay. Bargaining, I don't think comes into effect here.
No, this is just getting to know somebody.
Only 1 out of 6 dice. It is a Derek rule if ever there was one.
It's a bit of a doozy. You don't get her exact address. She just says that she's from the Arlington area.
I'll probably run into you here soon enough.
Hmm.
These are starting to become my stomping grounds too.
You get the sense that maybe she's getting a little put off by you. Maybe some creepy crawly snuck by on your chest without you noticing. You have no idea, but she starts to get a little closed off.
More's the pity.
I would probably say it's probably about this time that Alex starts coming down the stairs.
Do you have anything in hand as you're coming down, Alex?
No, but she looks a little bit more simply dressed than usual. Makeup's a little bit more simple.
Just kind of a long sleeve t-shirt and jeans.
Pretty much.
Mm.
Well, I end up making my way over to end up and find her, and quickly end up pulling to the side to end up making sure that nothing is untoward at this point. Then again, hard to do that when you're walking infestation.
Evening.
Hey, hello. Good evening. How's it going, Alexandra?
It's going. Is there something I can do for you this evening?
Just doing a meetup before I get really busy tonight. Figure I end up seeing on how that thing you were looking into is going. Anybody seen the big guy? If the skittish one decided to find herself a hole in the ground to hide in. You know, all the huge. Besides, isn't this the place to be when no one's sure what's going on? I'm sure.
Why don't you come back into my office?
Gladly. Already feeling frisky.
I hope he wasn't bothering you too much, Claire.
No more unusual.
Don't mind him. He's a collector of the, well, more unusual than I.
It shows. And Claire goes back to manning the front desk or the counter.
See you soon, Claire.
Alex would lead Shriek back into the same room that she'd led Gwen into the previous night, opening up the door to show him inside before closing it behind them.
And I believe there's a seat here, kind of like a little bit of a round table situation. And so Shriek just makes himself at home, sits down in a chair, puts his feet up, stretches out. I do love this room. I love it.
Well, it's quiet and nobody's in here. And it can't be heard from the rest of the store.
Might be tempted to test that one, but okay, we'll trust you for a minute. What makes this place so good at being soundproof?
Nothing in particular. I think it's just the way it's built. But I haven't seen the other two this evening, by the way.
Oh, okay. Oh, and just to let you know, Claire thinks my name's Kay. I thought that was funny. I supposed to
Sure.
introduce myself as Shriek?
We have people with weird nicknames come through.
That might be the case, but first rule, I take it seriously. If you haven't guessed,
Mm-hmm.
huh? So, you didn't end up seeing the tiny rat. I understand that one. She can be a little tricky at times. Malkavians, am I right? But we end up having that one big walking mountain of a man who's, well, I'm honestly surprised I'm not feeling a tremor going on as he's starting to rush on over here.
Haven't heard from either of them.
Well, that seems to end up meaning that you and me are here tonight.
Seems
So,
as such.
besides, you weren't doing anything important, were you?
Actually, no.
Excellent. So, not looking into the Second Inquisition, not delving into spooks and specters, you're not dealing into all of these esoteric little details, or reading a tarot card deck, or trying to manifest the way to get yourself wet through a crystal again.
I mean, I could be, but if you're here, there's probably something else that I
No,
need
I
to be
do it for
focusing
you.
on. Sure, let's leave it at that, Shriek.
I knew it. All right. So, with that in mind, I figured that tonight would be an interesting little bit of a occurrence. First and foremost, you fed?
No.
How about, because I don't want to end up coming across as the weird one around here, I would like to end up being able to make things up to you just a little bit.
Make them up to me.
Oh, yeah. Tell me, who are you at hunting?
I'm not a hunter, if that's what you're asking.
That's more common than I care to admit amongst Tremere that I've met. It is strange. I am curious on how the hell you guys get by all that time. I mean,
Normally, we dip our fingers in the medical industry or in with animals.
oh, God, no. Please don't tell me you end up eating rats, cats, dogs, and chasing after automobiles afterwards because somebody ended up leaving Poochie in the back seat.
Try more of a beef style.
Ew. Oh, no. No. We can't.
Shriek, you've tried every animal you can think of because it's possibly a commonality in Nosferatu. But they're all disgusting.
Oh,
But
not.
that's not necessarily where
Well, let's see what you do. Always good to have backup once in a while. Besides, gotta trust somebody.
Indeed. So what do you have in mind?
Oh. You like Italian? I love Italian.
I guess.
Fantastic. Your car or mine? Oh, wait.
She just gestures to the door.
Excellent. He opens it up and steps to the side like a gentleman. Then does that little awkward wave as he walks by Claire.
Have a good night, Claire. If you have any troubles, you know how to contact me.
Really? I'm here all night?
Well, until the next person comes in to take over.
Oh, who's that?
They're already late. I got shit to do, Alex.
Let me give them a call. And she gives them a call as she starts.
He keeps an eye out for the number.
You're peeking at Alex's phone for the number?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna ask you for a wits and awareness.
I don't think it'll be a good, one, but I will activate heightened senses for this one.
Okay.
This one.
Okay. Oh.
Ooh. No. Yeah, we'll take it.
Okay. Okay. Alex, are you being particularly protective of the number, or are you not really thinking about it?
She's not really thinking about it at this point. She's just.
Okay. So there's not really a defense roll. Okay. So, Shriek. Looking at the phone, you are able to see the phone number. It does look like she has it saved in her phone as, someone with a random name. They're not particularly important. But what comes out of it is you hear the voice on the other side, briefly, before she puts it up to her ear and kind of blocks you from being able to listen in a way. From the sound of it, sounds like they were sleeping. Do they do that regularly at this particular time of night? Who knows? Are they supposed to be the night shift? Maybe.
Everybody needs a little motivation from time to time.
But something strikes you as a, ooh, that sounds tasty right now. You're hungry.
I'm a little bit hungry, yeah.
You're hungry. So until you sate one hunger, you're at a 2 dice penalty for anything but hunting rolls.
Fantastic. Well, thankfully, I'm going out to end up getting myself a bite.
Thankfully. Oh, but that one just sounds right up your alley right now, but you're not going in that direction because that person's coming here. No, you're going elsewhere.
Save that bit for later then.
Yep.
So, I proceed to end up going about and pull up to a place that looks well to do, especially in Arlington. I'm keeping an eye out. No sense making it more complicated than it has to. I'm typically avoiding those with, here's the sign for the security system. Mostly because I'd like to be able to save that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But definitely something to end up getting started into. And I will eventually have the car stopped a little ways away after we've probably cycled the block twice, just to take a look, neighbors and all that kind of stuff, fishing for options. Nicer cars, nicer new front lawn. I'm not looking to end up jumping into a place that looks like it's overgrown and there's that Chevy from the 40s that is currently rusting in the front. Not to say Arlington has many of those, but
They're few and far between, that's for sure.
So, with that in mind, once the car's parked, I start to step out, take a few steps and then stop. Looking back. You coming?
Sure.
Fun. So, start off with the fundamental basics. You're going to end up if we're going to end up stepping on in. Are you able to keep yourself quiet?
How quiet do I need to be?
Enough not to be a hindrance, otherwise I'll let you in through the front.
You know what? Why don't I just wait? The physical isn't really my deal.
Such a boring. Don't make it boring. Ah, well.
Well, if you really want me to come, I can't guarantee it'll go well, though.
Well, everything's blood now. And with that stupid bit of innuendo, Shriek is going to do a hunting roll, which is his stealth dexterity with a break-in specialty.
Yes, because you are breaking into this house in front of you.
Do you have any stealth that'll...
No.
No? Okay.
Nope, Alex cannot assist.
Oh, wow. I hate to do this, but I am going to willpower.
Mm-hmm.
It's...
There's 4. Able to successfully break in. There is a couple and a child who are asleep in the house. You slip in without anyone noticing. From whom and what do you take?
I'm going to end up taking from the guy first. Mostly because, well, tastes. Also because I'd like to end up not having a situation where he wakes up. It's going to be kind of hard to fight off when you're a little bit lightheaded. I'm only taking 1 for now.
1 from the fellow. Okay. Let's find out some resonances, shall we? Oh, it's very strong. And number 3, I believe
that's choleric.
Choleric. Okay. So it's very strong. It's definitely on the intense category. Let's find out if there's a clot in it. No.
No clots.
But it is very, very strong. And when you kind of think about it for a moment, it makes sense. This guy full on tastes like he's a bodybuilder. Like he's a strength trainer. Like he's all about pumping iron. And you can taste that kind of strength in his blood. It's like it's all he lives for. The fact that he even has a spouse and a child is kind of surprising to you, because you, from the taste of him, seem to think that his priorities are the gym, and that's it. He's got equipment in this house. He's got free weights. You're kind of fishing through his things, and you see that there is a gym membership card.
I'll keep note of that. I'm also, as I finish my fill, and obviously I'm going through this, I'm going to the front door and letting Alexandra in. Putting my finger up to my head and lips, gesturing, beckoning her in silently.
Kind of raises a brow at him, but does as she's told.
Alex, my dear, I need a dex stealth from you.
Good news, everybody's asleep, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Freak will assist in that regard.
Yeah, since it's an assist, it is going to be, since this is going to be technically your hunting roll, it's going to be at the same difficulty.
Yup.
So, the way that this works out, well, There is the possibility of succeeding at a cost, Alexandra, because the difficulty is your hunting difficulty to make
What's
this
the
stealth
cost?
check. The cost is you get in quietly, not setting off any alarms. But the cost of that is... Let me think on it for a sec. Cost is you know who this is.
Ooh. Ooh.
That there's a link between you and this house somehow. Otherwise, if you don't want that link to exist, it doesn't exist yet.
You know what? I'll take it.
Okay.
I feel like this is going to be a problem, but I'll take it.
All right. So, Shriek, do you inform her on who you've drank from before?
No, because Alexandra doesn't ask questions. She's just following along, trying to figure this out. What is it that Shriek does? I figure need this to be a interesting little outing. It starts off all fine. Alexandra here comes in, and Shriek is already leading the way. He looks to Alexandra and bites into his own lip, just letting a single drop of blood go along the corner of his mouth, wipes it off, and goes to the husband, who's probably already partially out of it, to not only sleep, but now being fed on, and just puts his fingers upon the lips. A tiny taste. As he proceeds to look around for any objects that might happen to go missing. Probably will rifle through for some pocket change a little bit later. And then looks to Alexandra and gestures to the wife sleeping on the other side, with a little bit of a bow, as though he's garçon at a fancy restaurant.
Alex, when you look upon the couple that is sleeping in front of you, you've met this couple. The woman, specifically. She's a nurse at Dr. Olson's practice. And her gym bro of a husband.
Ooh.
What do you do?
There's a look that comes over her face as she's looking down at this pair. A little bit of shock and horror that kind of flickers across her expression as she realizes who this is.
If she looks to Shriek, she'll end up seeing him smiling ear to ear.
And she can't, as she looks at Shriek, there's a silent question there of if he is aware of Dr. Olson. Is that why he brought her here?
Only one way to find out, Alex, and that's to ask him out front.
I'd like to insight. Alex.
Try and see if what she's trying to tell you with these looks.
No, trying to understand her reaction.
Okay.
Oh.
What's an insight?
Eric's dice suck today.
Mm.
Oh.
Is that continued bad luck from the stream today?
Yeah, well, I've legitimately totaled. I have 4 successes out of 20 dice.
Oh my god. This is this is why Derek Dice is a thing.
Unless Moxie wants to make it interesting and literally just give up the roll and have that moment be very easy to read for Shriek.
Oh, she is extremely easy to read right now. There is no hiding what's going on in her head with her facial expressions at the point. She's just...
Her facial expression is basically horror.
In doing so, it's very clear to Shriek that you know this person. Do I understand that correctly? Or at least
yes.
that would be the easiest way to justify what we're seeing. Okay.
Yes.
Then Shriek just smiles with a knowing smile. And then maybe his eyes dart with a curiosity towards the kid's bedroom. Would you prefer?
She just shakes her head, and she's actually going to make a move to leave the house.
He gently places his hand across the door with the gesture. I thought we were eating.
She just shakes her head.
You do see a little bit of leftovers on the corner of Shriek's mouth. It's
She's very much trying to ignore that.
you're this close, Alex. Just be aware.
Salvation's right there. Please. Enjoy yourself.
She takes a deep breath. Even though she doesn't need to breathe, it's
out of reflex.
The motion that kind of exists. And she leans in so that she can whisper in Shriek's ear. And at harm none, do what thou wilt.
Then be a syringe and not a vacuum cleaner.
It's a very
She
apt
looks
metaphor.
over at the woman again.
What do you do, Alex? You know because you can sense that sort of urge in your mind. It is very powerful urge. So powerful, in fact, that it's very hard not to just dive in right now. You're this close, and you're scared that if you have a taste, or see even just a drop more, you will lose that control you have. You've lived with your beast long enough to know
that if she takes a taste of this woman, she's going to lose it.
There's that potential. Depends how strong you will. Do you think you are?
It is always better to not take the risk. she ducks underneath of Shriek's arm and starts walking for the door.
Shriek just starts humming baby back, ribs. And starts to walk down the stairs well after Alexandra's left. He's looking at these two. Curious. Starts to look about. Checks in the kids' room. Ain't that just adorable? As he starts to walk his way down, looking around for an office or maybe the purse just laid there. Probably pockets of 20 or something like that, while also maybe looking over the driver's license, writing down a few little tidbits, contact information, where their place of employment is, if they have it. Everybody carries something from the office. Sometimes people are even able to end up making cards to end up offering, here, my card. Makes things so much easier. As I continue to collect.
The nurse has a badge for the place in which she works. Name tag and everything. It's easy enough to find if you were to search for it. In like the yellow pages or something.
It's good to know who you're dealing with. And a nurse of all things. And
a gym bro of a husband.
Oh, we can have a lot of sexy time. But we're going to end up taking a moment. Once I'm satisfied with enough information that I know everything I need as a preliminary and some knowledge about their hospital or whatever else may be relevant. What gym, for instance?
Yeah, you have all of that.
I start to head out after I've fed. Start to enjoy myself. Being kind enough to lock the door even behind me. How courteous am I?
But you would find that Alex has completely exited the household and has gone back to the car.
I make my way. Oh, sounds like Alex was about to speak.
You were gonna say something, yeah?
So even going so far as to sit in the driver's seat, and she is holding onto the steering wheel with white knuckles.
He slips in and just pulls the seat back to recline as far back as possible. Hands behind his head after the seatbelt's done up and just enjoying this, feeling powerful. I mean, he's got a hell of a kick. Might come back for seconds.
You didn't just bring me here for food.
Oh. So you leave halfway through the lesson and then start asking questions. Well, if you would have paid attention in class. And I thought you would be the educated one.
Verbalizing in the middle of that situation, I would think it might wake those sleeping very close by.
I know, it sucks, doesn't it? It sucks having to watch this and see this and him feed and all that, but not actually be able to speak or interact or really do anything. Then you just kind of sit there. You exist and you don't exist. Now, doesn't that just suck? Maybe just a little bit.
The life of a Nosferatu.
Oh, you think? Yeah, you're right. We didn't just come here for a goddamn dinner date. But what's the matter? Lose your taste for nurse? I thought you would have enjoyed it.
Dr. Luke Olson. It's the name of the doctor that she works for. He, is somebody I have to be careful of.
I can't imagine why.
So yes, I'm aware of this.
What? You're afraid she's not gonna come into work here tomorrow? That's entirely in your hands.
Which is why I decided to walk out the door.
So you're gonna kill somebody else. Got it.
No.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna do. That's how this works. You decide to hold off when given the opportunity because you're a little scared on what's gonna happen. Believe it or not, playing timid is usually the best way to get people killed in this little existence. Because surprisingly, I actually don't rack up that high of a body count. Can't say the same for some. But I don't have the luxury of playing it fly or cute. Darling, let me just leave it at this. If I have to end up sitting there, always on the sidelines, always having to learn things the hard way, if I always have to end up going digging for it, I tend to get a little cranky. And while that's great when I have a flogger, it's not so great when I'm about to lose my collected shit. So I thought a peace offering would be useful. And maybe a understanding could be made. Don't make me have to look for things.
I appreciate the attempt.
I thought we could have just wined and dined and enjoyed, a little bit of husband and wife action.
Alex puts the car in drive.
Oh, but
And
he's right. He's right. It was right there in front of me. I could have done something about the fact that he's been on my tail for so long. Could have done something. Squandered it. Squandered an opportunity.
It would not have been right.
It was an opportunity to weaken his position, and we know it.
What I don't get is you're not allowed to fuck with the doc. But that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. A primogen being told off limits?
You've misunderstood. It's not that I'm not allowed to dog it. I choose not. Because fucking with him is dangerous for not only me, but other kindred.
You're gonna need to clarify on that one. I thought it was just cute to end up with visiting hospital staff.
I use blood bags, Shriek.
It shows.
In order to get blood bags, sometimes a pattern needs to be formed. Patterns are easily traced.
And so the doc ends up getting you what you need.
No. The doc simply noticed a pattern and has a habit of following me.
Well, if you wouldn't hide things like this from me, then we just had our solution right there in the home.
He's right again.
Now, are you mad at me right now? Are you on that little bit where that voice in your gut is telling you to do something? I imagine it is. Probably wants to tear me to shreds, but then again, it's the same with Kane. So that's all good.
No, actually, it's telling me how right you are.
Oh, good. So glad that I have a friend in you. I got a friend in you.
But
But
just because you're correct doesn't mean it's the correct course of action.
you might be right. But do you know the reason for this? The real reason?
No.
Because there's far worse out there than me. And I'm the one who's looking after it all. So, I can keep bringing up dinner dates. How many you want? Hmm? How many more do you think we can end up going through before your Rolodex of people I don't know starts to get very, very thin? And I'm not the worst person who can have that information. The worst person that can have that information is somebody who actually wants to fuck with you. More so than me. This is just light flirting. What I'm looking for is reliability and an understanding. Because I get that you're this blood mage. I get that you are very much a take charge, serious type. Some typically are. But you also care enough to not handle a complication in a way that's just very clean cut. There's a rule that you won't cross. Makes me wonder, though, when it really comes down to it, is that rule going to end up helping you or hindering you from what we are?
Helping me or hindering me.
I wanted this outing to happen just between you and me. Besides, I don't think Kane would be able to end up keeping himself too quiet. I mean, steel toe on hardwood floors makes a little bit of a creaking, which ends with shrieking.
You want me to understand where you're coming from. You want to sit with control over the rest.
You'll end up coming to realize that information, that is control. Just like having the right level of information suddenly makes our Second Inquisition problem go bye-bye. Just like information on what Anna or Cain is fully capable of. That might help you out in the long term. You don't seem to respect the fact that we are actually a bunch of man-eating predators. I know I make it look fabulous, but that's besides the point. Darling, I want you to end up making sure that your life is long and prosperous. But I want us to have an understanding. Because I don't want any complications suddenly coming up. Like us going feeding and finding out that you're allergic to nurses. I want to be on that level where we're accounting for each other in the ways that matter. And I don't like being sidelined.
When have you been sidelined in this streak?
What do I do? What am I known for? Come on, you're a Tremere, you're smart. What's my reputation?
Information.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you're good at.
It's what I'm phenomenal at, dearie. And that means I need to be able to barter and trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm sitting here waiting to hear on what's going on, or stuck out in the middle of the boonies, I find out about little houses like that. And I'm finding out more every night. I'm finding out about a kid's medication. I'm finding out about everybody's favorite protein powder. I'm finding out where they work. What do they do in their off time? What's on their browser history, and what hashtags on Pornhub they don't want the wife to know. But I need my bread butters. So, when I'm left to my own devices, these things happen. I need something worth trading. Give me something worth trading. I will give you something worth trading. But I need it very clear that I'm a part of this coterie, but I still gotta eat. And I'll help you eat just the same. In peace, in quiet, and nurse free.
I've never been all that good with riddles. So, when you want something from me, sure. Make it plain.
Good. Give me information worth trading. And I'll make sure that you're well stocked on it.
Information worth. Where we put our value is very different.
Not really.
Are you sure about that?
say you value money. I know, a foreign concept to many, right? Especially how they spend it. But let's just presume you value money, right? It's not the money that's valuable. It's the fact I know that is your number one goal above all else. Because if I know that, then it's usable. But me just having money and not knowing it makes it equivalently useless. Not used appropriately. So again, it comes down to information. Knowing. Knowing that maybe you value cash or power. Maybe you just want to save your soul, or maybe you just have a certain flavor of the month you absolutely need to sink your fangs into. I mean, it's all for sale. But knowing what you want, knowing what you need, that there, honey, that is the ticket. Ticket to ride that gravy train ass all night long. So what do you say? He reaches out a hand. Help me scramble that bussy?
If I can, I will. Although I'm currently driving, so shaking your hand is not necessarily the best idea.
Well, thankfully, if we get in a head-on collision, I know two people who aren't dying.
And a lot of people who will be asking questions, yeah.
I know. Fabulous, isn't it? Because when they ask questions, everybody pays for answers.
I think that is a good place where we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll find out what more these three and what shenanigans they're going to get up to next. Be back soon, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to Blood and Iron, Dead Man's Hands. Anna, after dealing with some things, has decided to, after stalking her former boyfriend, Roman, she's decided to go on the search, this time for another kindred. A kindred that she was told if she needed to get in touch with, to paint a mark somewhere in the domain, and she would come. instead of doing that just yet, Anna's gone in the search to see if she can find these symbols around the domain instead. Perhaps they're a declaration of territory, of prominence, of organization. Perhaps it's just a calling card that others use. But she's on the search. On the search through the streets of the city of Arlington in the middle of the night. To most, a lone woman dressed in black, alone at night, might look a little odd. But, Anna, what are your thoughts going through your head as you're here alone?
I'm I can't help but feel like maybe there's some anger. Fuck it, I'm resentful. Everything that I have to do in order to just live moderately normal. I would have loved nothing more than to just go about my existence, the rest of my existence, whatever it was, as conveniently out of the way as possible. Yet here I am, centered in it, centered in the affairs of this city, in the affairs of my coterie, their affairs, their problems, the problems they bring to me. And because of that, I can't reasonably, safely be around or doing anything as quietly and comfortably as I want. I just wanted to be with Roma. That's it. I just wanted to pretend none of this was an issue. I wanted to keep pretending that I wasn't just some horrible blood-sucking monster. I don't deserve to feed, to drink. I don't want to exist like this. Like this. I just want to remove it all. Get rid of it. Quickly. Second Inquisition. Whatever that means. I'll erase it. And then it won't be a problem, will it?
Certainly a worthy goal. Rid the city of that problem.
Make it go away. Make it all go away. So I'm going to find someone I know has experience with these things. Making things go away. That's what a veteran means, right?
And she says that she's been a veteran twice over. continue walking, you see these symbols from time to time, kind of mixed amongst the other graffiti that you see in the sort of slummier areas of the city of Arlington, where graffiti is more prevalent. Because, God forbid, that spray paint ever touch the suburbs. Not with their pristine houses, cardboard cookie cutter. But there's something else going on in your mind. You're overwhelmed with a need to hurt something. A need to cause some kind of pain. Perhaps you'll do it to her. Or perhaps she'll do it to you.
Remember, Anna. Discipline is perfection. Keep it together.
Always striving for perfect.
I'm in control. I'm in control.
As you continue along, you stumble across a crime scene. Something that's looks like it's mostly cleaned up by now, but amongst what you see are the last remnants of law enforcement, there is a face that you recognize, and that is Colette's. Oops. That is the wrong thing. But yes, she is, in fact, there. You can see her kind of looks like she's rummaging through the last remnants of the scene.
Rummaging through the last remnants of what scene?
Of a crime scene, like something that's just recently been cleaned up.
Let's see. Has she seen me yet?
She has not seen you yet. She seems to be kind of hunched over what looks like maybe blood on the ground.
I'm going to remain here. I'm not hiding. But I'm also not making an effort to approach just yet. I want to look at the scene as best I can from a perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Sense the unseen. What's there?
With Sense the Unseen, go ahead and make that roll for me.
I don't have the best wits. Bear with me. Oh, shit. Hold on. What's the specific conditions of the harm compulsion? How does that affect Nick?
A -2 to dice pools, to all dice pools except for the inflicting harm.
What?
And then your and then your bane is on top of that. Yeah, your chance dice.
I had 1 dice to roll on that, brother.
you don't spot anything, so maybe that's a good thing. Because you've seen bits and pieces in passing before. Bits and pieces of lingering memory, essence of a being, something ephemeral. Never anything of any kind of cognizant nature. It's always been kind of feelings or just playback of something that might have happened. You don't see anything, so maybe slightly odd to you, but then again, that might be comforting to you.
I'm gonna wait for Colette to notice me.
It's a 10 or 15 minutes after she's kind of seems satisfied with her findings, is that she turns around and starts to make her way away from the scene. Her eyes do catch yours briefly, as it seems that she's noticed you now, but she continues to walk towards an alleyway.
I'm gonna follow her.
All right. Are you being particularly quiet or not?
No.
No? Okay.
She sees me.
Okay.
She knows I'm coming.
After a moment, she gets to the end of the alley where there's some dumpsters and trash and things all kind of collected there, kind of behind a set of buildings that seem to be shops, as this particular scene seems to have taken place in a bit of a shopping block, and she kind of just leans against the wall a little bit, kind of smiling at you. Hello.
Good evening. I didn't want to interrupt you. You seemed busy.
I was just making sure it was mundane. Nothing more.
Nothing less.
Nothing to worry about. A simple scuffle between two people who could not resolve their argument without a gun.
You generally keep eye on the streets then. Is that your prerogative?
I've always been a bit of an investigator.
Mm-hmm.
To know the truth.
The truth is important.
It is to me. It is not the truth. It is not the most important for a lot of kindred.
I think there is value in transparency. And I also think that maybe it's hard to remember what that means when you have to live as a body, exist as one.
The masquerade. To pretend to be human when we are not.
Do you still pretend, Colette?
From time to time. It is important to remain connected. Because without that connection, one falls away to their beast, far more quickly than if you attempt.
That's true.
To what do I owe this pleasure?
You said I could come to you for anything.
Of course.
If I had something I needed.
Always. Of course.
I need to also seek the truth.
I will offer what truth I know.
I believe there's investigators in the domain. In Arlington. Humans. Perhaps knowing a bit too much about us.
Hunters. Many kinds of hunters there exist.
Certainly.
What kind do you think you have found?
Hard to say. I didn't encounter them. I don't make those mistakes.
Ah,
But it's been brought to my attention nonetheless. I'd like it to be removed. I need eyes and ears low to the ground. I need everyone watching and paying attention. I need someone who can help me find an answer.
I will do what I can.
Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
ST question. Did anyone actually share with Anna specifically what to look out for?
That's a question better for Derek and Mox. Did y'all share with Anna what to look out for?
During the meeting, it was mentioned of black vans. It was mentioned that they were technologically capable. There was a microphone shown, and black suit was.
Okay, because yeah, they updated the print on all of that too.
Okay. Black vans, black suits. High tech. They have ways to look for us. And that's the part that's very, very concerning.
Yes, it would be.
Have you dealt with hunters before?
The hunters that I've dealt with have been a pair. A pair of men who got cocky with a shotgun. Brothers, I think they were. It did not end well with them. Or for them, I should say. As they were cocky. They underestimated me.
Trying not to laugh at the reference. Well, then I certainly hope that the rest of this group is also underestimating me.
But I have heard stories. Stories from elsewhere. Recent stories. Stories that lead me to believe that there might be more than just brothers in a van or in a truck. That perhaps we're dealing with a far larger and more organized group that could be spreading their efforts throughout the whole nation. I've seen nothing like that here in Dallas so far, but if black vans are any indication, usually means secrets.
No secrets.
And if they are as concerned with the public knowing as we are, then finding them will be difficult unless you know what you're looking for. Which would seem the case in both parties. They know us, and we know them.
And I think an important factor to start with, I'd follow on who's most watched.
The most watched. Then you have come to perhaps the perfect city for them to sort of mount something. All of us are being watched. All of us here in Arlington are being watched by everyone around us, waiting for us to slip up again. Because that will be the reason that they remove our heads. Whether it's these hunters or whether it's our own Camarilla.
I suppose that would be a quick way to remove the trail.
Cut off the head of the snake and your problem goes away.
Unless it doesn't.
Unless it doesn't. Unless it is actually an earthworm, which separates into segments.
Unless it's actually a hydra.
Or a hydra. Curious how you seem to know much about mythology.
Just the basic stories.
Do you think that a pair of heads will replace the head you slice?
I think nothing is really truly resolved until everything is burned. Until then, it's only mitigation.
Well, we're hoping not to see the end of the world, remember?
That's the hope. Still, I know nothing about this. I've never encountered hunters.
You are very, very young from what I know.
Yeah. And I only know one veteran.
Well, I should have to correct you on that then. as you would know at least two. Myself and Fernando.
I see. From the same fields?
Yes.
Hmm.
I've also noticed you never ask me where.
I often would think that it isn't quite my place.
You are Primogen. You need
It's
simply ask and I will tell you.
Where is it that you shared a field with Fernando? And what happened there?
In Jackson, Mississippi, where I was embraced. There was an uprising amongst the anarch ranks. Word had come to town that a prolific anarch had paid our town a visit. It was enough to bolster their ranks and siege Elysium. Most of the court died that day. But we escaped with the prince's only heir. Came to Dallas. Heard word that one of such anarchs, a leader amongst the revolution, Urian Doyle, had found his way to Texas. And so we mounted a strike. But we were not successful. And thus, I am here to live out the rest of my days in shame for my failure. To my prince, to Kyle A. Calhoun, my coterie mate, and so here I am, amongst the rest of the unwanted. Waiting for the excuse that they need to end me. But I will not give them one.
Let's see. Outcast like that. It's hard to necessarily understand why all isn't necessary for a war. I don't know anything about it.
And I hope you never do. But with eternity, you will find out one day. You will find a cause. Whether it's your Camarilla or something else. You will fight for it. And you will either be successful or you will not. Like any other day.
Right now, I have a simple cause.
And what would that be?
I just want to exist quietly, Colette. And I'd like the problems, like hunters, to vanish instantly. So, though I may be premature, I want to offer something. You like knowing the truth, and I can see it. I can find it very easily.
It's a very useful skill.
But I can't find people. And I can't hunt. And I can't fight. So, I'd like to make an exchange. Bye,
Of
baby.
course.
I can be your eyes for you.
Then count me amongst your sword.
Is that acceptable?
Very.
And I will put out her hands. Formal handshake. She's not quite sure what to do. Almost seems reserved in body language and shaky even.
Colette smiles and takes your hand and goes to a knee. Your wish is my command, Primogen.
Thank you, Colette.
Of course, Anna. I will see to it that when all is said and done, we all could live peacefully in this little trash heap.
It's little and it's a trash heap, but it is ours.
Positive outlook. Hang on to that. You never know when you're going to need it. I will start investigating as well for these hunters. Much as you saw me now, any evidence of them, I will follow and I'll hunt them down myself if I have your permission.
You do. I want to make a point. I am always very excited to inform the primogen Abraham of how excellent you are.
He has always been the man of his own personal judgments. But I imagine there are some words, amongst the many in the English language, that could sway him.
I believe there are. I believe I've swayed him a bit already.
I wish you luck.
Thank you. And I will depart on that note. She starts making her way out from the alley. And she checks back behind her, maybe for a moment. See if Colette is still there. If she waits, if she watches.
She waits.
Without waving, and I'll just slip by past the alleyway. And continue down the street. There's a horrible feeling in her. That anger, that resentment, the game, getting down on one leg. Fucking kidding me. It feels ridiculous. It feels silly.
It is silly. We could have just wrung her neck.
It's not like I need saving. Everyone else is the problem. Everyone else is the problem. Yet, as I get further away, I keep thinking more and more. If everyone else is the problem, then where does the problem begin? Is this a Hydra or is it an Ouroboros?
Circling, circling, circling.
And just stands in the street for a moment. This is a problem with the phone. In the end, she can't really do anything. And she looks back at the crime scene. Tries to trace the after images. And shadows seem to creep across. Again, wondering, just maybe, how many bloodstains in this city is because of another kindred.
It's a very good question.
When you return home from that, truth be told, it's more important to stay in control. Just pretend. Stay in control and just pretend.
But sometimes it feels good to just let loose and just hit something. Rip it to shreds. Could have taken her pretty little neck between your fingers and crushed it. Would she have resisted you? Maybe.
My feeling. Impulses aside, I'm not fucking stupid. I get it. I fully get it. She thinks I'm delicate and fragile, instead of another bloodthirsty fucking monster like the rest of them. That's the point, right?
It would have felt good.
It would have, and there's not much she could have argued about it. Just all the same. I'm not gonna start fights where it doesn't belong. That's the point. The less I exist, the better.
Where are you off to, Anna?
I'm headed back to Alex's shop.
Alright.
I don't know where else to be right now.
Well, Shriek and Alex are coming away from a feeding scene after those few hours, so where are you two headed?
Alex was actually driving them towards her most recent expedition in terms of feeding. The blood bank where she was last time.
Aha. Indeed.
When she pulls up outside, she stops for a moment and waits for Shriek to question where they are. No doubt he will.
Reek is probably a little curious, though he is probably also here making the point to look about, trying to gauge the situation. A little bit of curiosity. This is a blood bank, fairly well known.
At least for this particular area of the city.
Ah, juice box time. So, we're here to end up picking up so you can have your nurse-free diet.
dual purpose, and you're an information broker. So, I figured there's something here that you could make use of, at the very least.
Nah, you're getting it. Oh, I knew I liked you, girl.
I'm sure I'm not the only one in this city that you can sell information about feeding.
Oh, certainly not. But it's a start.
So, this place, the last time I was here, well, found out that they have a disposal through a third company.
Disposal. Oh, so you get the write-offs.
Me
Ugh.
or anybody who is willing to take it.
Ugh. Ugh. That was bad enough when it was separated. Oh, well, let's stop that tummy grumbling. God, I sound like my old man. Ugh.
You sound like a lot of things, Shriek.
Oh, no, wait until we get into the bedroom. He opens up the door and gets ready to head out.
All
I really
right.
hope that never happens.
And Alex, you would know at this hour, the blood bank would be closed to anyone from the public. If there's any staffers in here, well, that remains to be seen, but you would know that the public entrance is at least closed.
She's going to watch what Shriek does. Breaking and entering seems to be his port of call.
Mm.
Oh, I'm expected to do things. Oh, okay. I thought I let the door open for you last time, but yeah, sure. Why not? I will.
She just wanted to see what he'd do with it.
Okay. Okay. Rick will definitely try and end up doing a silent break-in.
Mm. All right.
Much the same as the house. Security might be a little different, but
Yep. Silent break-in. Let's see what you can do. Next stealth and break-ins. All right.
3's not too bad.
That 3's not too bad.
I'm not hunting here.
No, you're not hunting here. You're just kind of investigating, the best routes in. And so, looking at the front door, it seems like a pretty generic sort of double glass door sort of a deal where there's an interior door and an exterior door. And they seem to be, single doors with a very simple key lock. So it's just a matter of smashing windows or unlocking the locks on the doors. And since you, Shriek, have been very proficient in the unlocking of doors, you tend to swing in that particular direction.
Well, whatever direction's useful at the time.
Mm-hmm. House locks tend to be a little easier to get into, though, than business locks, you've come to realize. As you try to you try the different methods that you have to get the door to unlock, but it seems that it's a little hardy, this lock.
Well, I don't mean to be unimpressive, so I will roll a willpower then.
Okay.
Or do it.
Yeah, 4 will do it. You wiggle the door and you see that it has a little bit of a there's a bit of a gap. yeah, now that you're really looking at it, there's a gap that you can take advantage of, and so you slip whatever tools you have into that gap and do what you can to press that sort of almost deadbolt like lock back into its usual place, and do the same for the second door. And but before you do that, you do realize that there's an alarm system that would be in place on this place. And so you do what you can to subvert the alarm system, because it looks like it triggers on the interior door opening.
So I'm presuming that would be asking for a larceny check if I want to move forward. Would that be correct?
That would be.
Okay, I will rouse the blood for that. Perfectly good.
Yep.
What's the call? Larceny dex or larceny intelligence? Larceny wits? What do you call them for?
I am. Since you know where it is and how it's triggered, this is going to be more of a dexterity larceny because it's just a matter of getting past it.
That is six. That is 6 successes.
That is 6 successes. You slip your tools to block the sensor. You unlock the lock on the interior door. You nudge it just ever so slightly open. And no alarm.
While Shriek is doing this, Alex is going to pull on a black hoodie and pull a cooler out of the trunk of her vehicle.
Black hoodie and a cooler. Shriek, you have impressively done some magnificent work of getting into this business that would otherwise be a very tricky ordeal for someone who was not you. You stand a little proud of yourself.
I do.
As Alexandra is quickly following you into this business. And much as the usual fare when it comes to donation clinics, this is both a blood donation and plasma donation center. So there is a combination of different sorts of directions in which patients can go, and Alexandra seems to beeline it for a particular hallway, where I imagine, Alex, you have raided the disposal fridge before.
Yes.
So this is where I'm going to call for you making a hunting roll. This is going to be your hunting roll at the usual difficulty.
Actually don't have a hunting roll listed for blood bags.
Oh, in this, let's see,
Give me 1 second.
because I think it is a larceny roll, but I need to figure out what the
There we go. Hunting, going down, and you are referring to a bagger, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Intelligence streetwise.
Intelligence streetwise?
Beautiful.
Nope, that is to buy things off the street. She is looking.
Yeah.
She is breaking into a place to get her blood. So this is going to be a larceny roll. That particular larceny, I'm going to just make it easy, and I'm going to call for dexterity. Because you have to break into a locked fridge.
This is gonna suck.
You can call for Shriek's help.
She's gonna look at Shriek and be like, would you give me a hand with this?
He flippantly tosses her one of his picks when he figures would ballpark it.
All right, you get your +1.
Just rake it.
Oh. That is a bestial failure, my friend.
God, and I can't willpower any of that.
Ooh. Yeah, you're more used to buying it from the quote unquote retailer than actually doing the actual stealing yourself. Uh, this is not exactly the most opportunistic way of doing things for you. That with that being a bestial failure, while your hunger doesn't increase, your mood intensifies. You are absolutely 100% the need to feed is overwhelming, and right now you don't care how you get into this fridge. You need what's in there, and you need it now. And so you're going to be a neg 2 penalty for all but hunting for the rest of the scene. You are
Will you not
hungry.
jiggle it like that? You're just gonna bend the shit out of the lockpick.
Just passes it back to Shriek.
It's all crooked and bent now. What the hell am I supposed to do with this?
I don't know.
Shriek is looking like a tasty meal right now. If he ain't gonna help you open it, he better think of something. Otherwise, you're gonna want to eat him.
Honey, I know I'm a snack, but not now. Get some handcuffs, maybe.
Don't tempt me right now, Shriek.
Wouldn't it be funny if you just chain him down and just bit every last piece of him off?
He ain't about
Violent,
truth.
but amusing.
You're looking at me right now like you would trade a whole meal for a little snack. Well. Okay. Well. I'm going to rouse the blood and... Okay, finally a little hungrier.
A little hungrier,
Just
Shriek.
check. And this was a dex, right?
Yep. You can get Alex's help if you want.
Oh, sure. I'll add that one.
Sure.
More
Okay.
successes.
That'll do it. That'll do it, because that is the hunting difficulty for your domain. Shriek, you're not sure how it is that she managed to mess us up. It's probably one of the easiest refrigeration units you have ever broken into. How many have you broken into? We'll come back to that. It was like she was using the wrong side of the tool by using the right side of it. And you're flabbergasted, possibly, at the sheer incompetence that she is exuding right now. But Alex, it is full of bags of blood that would be taken away by a biohazard truck in the morning. Unusable. Not anything and everything in here that isn't usable for donation purposes. This is all just going to get incinerated or chemically cleaned up or whatever it is that they do. You're not sure. You don't care. All you know is that it's drinkable.
She is going to pop a couple and drink them. She is hungry.
With both your compulsion and the propensity that you have for frenzy, I need you to make me a hunger frenzy check, my friend. Difficulty 3.
I am not getting in the way of this.
Difficulty 3. Let's see how big of a mess you make.
Let's. Is it just
That is
black
the frenzy.
frenzy?
Yep, frenzy button. You're gonna put in your total remaining willpower, and then your total humanity score, and it no modifiers, and then hit go.
Seven. No modifiers?
Nope, no modifiers.
And
Cool.
Nope.
That is not gonna do it, my friend.
Shriek is going to step to the side.
Get right the fuck out of her way.
And no, it gets worse. He just, instead of observing this, just starts digging in drawers, maybe taking a look at the front desk, checks files. Hell, if he's really lucky, he might even find a spare key or some notation to make things easier to break in here. Or maybe find somebody who works here. It's something that he can end up using in the near future. And he'll do this while currently that fridge is being demolished at this point.
Yeah, it is. Because, Alex, you did not successfully make your frenzy check. Instead of taking a couple out of the fridge and sipping on them like one would a juice box, instead you have dove headfirst directly into this fridge, your teeth sinking into the first one that pops into your face.
Oh no.
And you smother yourself in it. And again, and again, and again, bag after bag after bag. That as soon as you get that splash of blood on your face, you start lapping and drinking and more or less trying to drink like a rabid dog at a water bowl, ripping every bag and just smothering your face in all of this sort of what would be considered trash blood, otherwise going to be disposed of. You are able to get yourself down to one hunger, because there is enough here for you to satiate yourself that much. But,
oh boy.
You have created probably the biggest biohazard mess that this particular donation center has ever seen. As the refrigerator it was stored in is now trashed. The entire room is coated, slathered, and sprayed everywhere.
Oh no.
This is not a mess that two people could clean quickly. This is a big mess.
As she comes out of the frenzy and looks around, she just looks around in abject horror at what she has done.
Because you are exactly the same as the rest of this room. Just covered head to toe.
Oh no.
Does Shriek find anything while she's distracted?
Well, you are aware that this is the donation center run by Dr. Olson. That while he may be the person who runs the facility, it's all of the nurses and everything that do all the paperwork and everything. You
met one of those tonight.
Because I don't want to have to go over this in detail every time you do this, I will say that if you will have a temporary +1 for any knowledge checks regarding the this particular place or anyone that we've already stated is involved in this place when searching for information on them.
Yep, I'm just placing that as a seed a little bit later. That being said, once it's clear that Alexandra is coming down from the high, and I imagine her head is currently stuck in a fridge at this point.
It was until she yanked it out. And you come back to this place and you see the state of it.
With all the elegance and grace of a bookworm. So, tell me, remind me again, how is that whole blood bag thing working out for you?
This is not normally how I would do it.
I'm kind of scared to know how you would normally do it if this is as clean as it's been.
Thank you for getting me in here, Streak. I truly do appreciate it.
Feel better?
Well, I'm no longer looking at you like my next meal, so yes.
Wow.
Much.
You're welcome.
So she points down the hall and says, because I'm pretty sure she knows where the office in this place is. Like, they should have all their paperwork and everything to do with this place in the office down that way.
Well, now
if you haven't already found it.
Oh, I found everything I need right now. What I'm looking at right now, though, is a thing that's going to make this a lot more complicated for you later on, and I'm pretty sure you didn't want the doc to know anything about it. So, are we trying to get his attention now, or how do you want to play this out?
I honestly have no idea. I'm looking at this room and I'm going, admittedly, this has never happened before.
It's always messy your first time.
I'm sure there's some kind of innuendo in there, but I really cannot right at this moment.
So, you want to get a bucket and a mop?
For this.
Oh, I'm sure.
To make it look like some teenagers got in here and had a wild time.
Well, why didn't you just say so? Call them on up. We'll end up having a blast. He looks around and... Now, this is just a blood clinic, not a full-on operation, right?
No, yeah, this is just a donation clinic.
Funny. Well, didn't expect things to end up going this far south, but we'll end up...
No, neither did I.
Yeah, they have like a small little triage room just in case of an immediate emergency, but otherwise it's just facilitating for donations of both plasma and blood.
So, how much you want to burn this place down?
Are you talking literal burning down?
Covers up a lot of your mess. Not mass grade breaching.
Well, that makes sense, I guess.
Besides, isn't this doc a pain in your backside?
Yes, he is.
Isn't this just feeling better already the more you're stirring it over in your head?
You're a terrible influence, Drake.
I know.
Alex is actually going to make her way down towards the office herself.
leaving bloody footprints behind you as you do.
Well, if they're going to burn this place to the ground, it doesn't really matter.
Fair enough. But I thought I would point that out anyway, as it is a little bit wet.
Just a bit. Is the office locked?
It would be, yes.
Is there something that I can use to beat down the door?
I mean, there's yourself.
Or bust the handle so that the lock comes undone.
You can always body check the door.
No. No. She cannot
I
body
mean, there's
check this door.
there's the, you look around, there's a fire extinguisher on the wall.
Yeah, she's gonna use the fire extinguisher, I guess, to try and...
This is going to be a strength melee.
Why does this always end up with shit?
Because you're trying to do physical things, Alex. You said that's not your strong suit.
It's really not.
So why are you trying to do the physical things, you silly goose?
She can't get Shriek to do everything.
Yeah, the one's not going to be enough to just jam it to knock it off in the first go.
Okay. Using the obvious brain power that Alex has that I do not right now, can I see a way of getting around this law?
Intelligence and larceny.
Oh, that's too funny.
In times like these, you wish you had Kane with you.
What the actual... Oh my god. You know
If
what?
you don't mind, I'm gonna step in outside while you tend to your business and clean up your mess.
Sure, Shriek. Sure.
You need anything? Nah, you look like you got this well in hand.
It's not a particularly sturdy lock. If you really, really wanted to, you could bang it off in a couple of more hits.
Yeah.
So.
That's what she'll do.
And it takes a bit longer than you had anticipated, than you had really even hoped, making a lot more noise than you even hoped. And you're starting to worry that the surveillance cameras in the corner are going to start to see you.
Well, that's why I'm wearing the hoodie.
Yep. And so, finally, you bang the door open, and you have entry into this office.
I want to go through the desk. I want to go through any filing cabinets that are available for any patient files. And anything else of interest that might be laying around.
That is not going to suffice. You're going to have to tell me what you're looking for, because there is plenty that could be interesting that I'm going to need you to be more specific. Because just saying willy-nilly, I'm looking for anything interesting, that doesn't help me. What are you looking for?
Patient files, any invoicing from third-party companies, and any research notes of Dr. Olson's, if he's got any here.
As far as patient files go, that would be in the computer. So if you and you don't have access to the password, so you'd have to hack it.
So nope, that's out of the question.
Yep. You know that you'd probably have to hack beyond that, and you didn't come prepared to hack.
But she can unplug a computer.
You can take a computer with you, yes.
So she's going to unplug the computer.
Okay. The computer is now unplugged, and you can take the tower with you wherever you want.
At the very least, you can
Which means that if there are research notes on the computer, that's probably where you'd find them.
Yep.
If there are any. So
No physical documentation anywhere, though?
There's a lot here that you would have to rifle through for hours.
Oh, fuck that.
So, to get something that would be worthwhile quickly, yeah, taking the computer tower with you would probably be the quickest and most fruitful.
Yeah. So she's going to take the computer tower. And is there a way that I can make this look like some kind of electric fire? Like something I could shove in a socket that might cause a lot of sparking, or
anything metal can go in a socket.
Yep.
And there's plenty around that you can find that's metal that could go in a socket. Make high or low.
Low. No!
It shoots a spark right away. I need you to make me a terror frenzy.
Oh god. While I'm doing this, I've got the towel like tucked awkwardly under my arm.
Yeah, the question is, do you hold it while you're in a terror
Do you
frenzy?
hold it while you're in a terror frenzy? That's the question.
I hope so. So it's the remaining willpower, which is...
Yep, remaining willpower. And then your humanity score. And we'll see what happens.
Please, 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 please.
Because I imagine you've also set up some things that are flammable in the area.
Yeah, plenty of paper.
Yep, that's 3. That's 3. So that's enough to be spooked, but that was close. Nearly caught you. That spark came firing out. The paper that you set in front of it definitely is whooshing up, so you're getting out of there right away, but nearly caught you on fire too. There was a bit that got on your sleeve, and you were thankful that you're wearing so much clothing.
Well, bloodied clothing.
Bloodied clothing. You're thankful that it's soaked right now.
She is going to leave. Fucking leave.
Yep. You have that roll of paper towels that you led up to a curtain has whooshed up. It is catching that curtain on fire, and you are darting out with computer tower in hand, as you have successfully made your frenzy check.
Yep. She's gonna dump the tower in. I'm assuming Shriek is in the car or not. I don't know what Shriek's doing.
Shriek is.
You hear the fire alarm start to go off inside. You hear the door alarm start to go off because you pushed past it without the dexterity that you needed. Now, the break-in alarm's going off. The fire alarm's going off. There's there's a computer
sitting there in the car.
There's a computer tower shoved in the back seat, and Alexandra gets in the car.
I was gonna say she just drops the tower in Shriek's lap, just drives.
We gotta go feeding with you more often, girl. This is so much more fun.
He's just like, do not.
Oh, I can't wait to be pulled over by a cop. That's gonna be hilarious. You blood covered. Here I'm holding on to a bloody computer tower. Oh, this is gonna be hilarious.
She is driving at the speed limit.
Yep. I'm going to need a composure and drive. And that will be your last check for this scene.
Unless you
at least got 3 dice for composure. Oh no. I'm dreading this.
You are having It's one success, so you are able to drive the speed limit. But that doesn't mean that the driver themselves is in any way composed. You are
Yeah.
maintaining the driving law, but you are a mess.
Yeah. She's gonna
Emotionally, physically, everything.
She's gonna find an out of sight place to pull over, and she's just gonna strip off all the bloody clothes,
Yeah,
stuff them in a bin bag that she keeps in the back seat, and just stares at it for a second. Like, what the actual fuck? This was not supposed to go like this. Never before has she lost control so significantly. Never has she had to burn down a goddamn building because she messed up so bad. Never has she been berated by another kindred quite so thoroughly as what she was earlier this evening by Shriek. She has never had this much difficulty ever in her existence. And now that she's come to this city, now that she's outside of the protection of Malleus, she's outside of what she knew, the court that she knew, the people she knew. Why is it all so much more difficult? She knew re-establishing was going to be hard, but this just... It's all starting to get to her.
tonight was a lot.
Tonight was a lot. And then when you add on the Primogen seat and the fact that they're dealing with a possible Second Inquisition event happening within the city, within their own goddamn domain. That because of Cain, she might have been exposed. Because he didn't want to turn back. She was dumb enough to stay with him.
Why is it that here you feel so wide open and vulnerable?
There is so much exposed for her right at this moment.
So, lessons we learned. First off, we're in Texas. All right? And Texas means one thing that above all else: coin operated car washes. Always keep a roll of quarters somewhere in your car. Okay? Never know when they'll come in handy. You think I'm joking?
Nothing this evening has been a joke. True.
Doesn't stop it from being funny.
I'm glad at least one of us is getting amusement.
Oh, I gotta follow you on more field trips. You choose places far better than me.
Yes. Sure.
So, how about we go back to the shop? You get a nice change of clothes because, revealing as it is, and will admit, I know a few of the boys who like what they see. We can end up getting that arranged. We can take a minute to calm down, reflect on what we may have learned this evening.
Reflection is already happening, I assure you.
Mirror, mirror. And he just keeps this conversation going the whole way to the shop.
Which, when you arrive, you would find that that Anna's made her way there. Maybe talking with Kyle, the guy who was late.
Question. Before we got back to the shop, how much of the blood would I have been able to get off my person?
That's what I wanted to ask too.
Or in your person.
The clothing was soaked, so really the only thing that... So you would be able to shuck off that layer, yes. But any that's on your face, your hands, anything that was exposed is now drenched. And still drenched. And kind of dripping down. And using whatever paper towels or towel that you have in the car is not going to be sufficient enough.
So before they go back to the shop, Alex would like to stop by somewhere where she can at least rinse off.
She did mention coin operated car washes, which you can, if you wanted to, stand in exposed.
She probably would at this point. Oh, I'm sure he would. I'm sure he would love to get the hose and just aim.
A Shriek can hose you down. You can go through the car wash yourself instead of the car. Well, the car too, and step out of the vehicle while it's going, because you don't need to breathe. You don't need to worry about soap getting in your eyes or in your mouth or down your throat.
Yeah,
no,
but it's the soap getting into the car that's the problem.
No, the car.
Which she's going to need to clean that too.
You know what? Sure, she's just going to go through the actual car wash and open the door midway in. Like, wind down the window and open the door, and who cares if everything gets fucking drenched?
It will. As it will. And the computer would too.
Not the computer. Not the computer. Okay, never mind. She's not going to do that.
Oh, I understand the sentiment. We'll presume that shenanigans has happened.
We'll presume that she's rinsed. It takes a bit. You are sufficiently humiliated in the aftermath of such. You are.
You know what? She's also going to take the clothes out and let them get drenched as well.
Okay. All of that's doable. It all goes down the drain and on the side of the street anyway. And so you've rinsed out your clothes. Instead of whatever you might think of yourself, you're kind of just in your drenched bra and panties driving the car back to your shop.
She would probably once the clothes are actually rinsed out, she'd probably put them back on and just be in the drenched clothes.
However you want to do it. You be as humiliated as you want to be right now.
She's pretty fucking humiliated, not gonna lie.
Yeah. And it's getting about this close before you're gonna want to punch Shriek in the face out of frenzy. Just so you're aware.
She can understand where his amusement comes from. This was self-inflicted.
It was.
She's taking that on herself. This was self-inflicted.
Which it would be a very low difficulty, but it's still there.
Yeah.
It's still there. That need to get Shriek to shut up for a hot second, even if it's just briefly. But
when they get back to the shop, she walks in looking like she is entirely over the evening.
Completely
and she just holds up a finger to Kyle and says, "Do not ask."
Completely drenched in wet clothes. Head to toe.
Shriek is in here walking behind it. We're going to the car wash.
Anna, seeing the situation, she's just going to change her conversation, which presumably was about a bunch of miscellaneous books with Kyle, and is just going to be like, you should go get a towel.
Don't worry about it. Anna, Shriek, why don't you come upstairs?
Oh, Anna, we've had the bestest night. It was just the bestest. I'm gonna say it right now.
Went to the pool.
You got it. It was a bloody good time.
No.
Hey, that's what you guys say down under, right?
I'm just gonna go put these back if you're not actually interested.
I think that would be best.
He looks a little defeated that he didn't get the actual sale. He starts to walk with the books that you had on the purchase counter and puts them back where they go.
Anna will follow the rest of them up the stairs.
Sloshy footsteps in tow from Alex, and you are all free to speak in the soundproofed room that Alex has in her shop.
Yep, she actually leads them upstairs into her haven section of it, and she just starts sloughing off the wet clothes as she walks in. The haven is very much the same vibe as the shop itself. Very, very witchy herbs, the smell of incense everywhere. And she makes her way into the bathroom, and she's just, you hear the sound of water going. Make yourselves at home.
Well, while the shower's running, that gives Anna and Shriek some time. Shriek makes himself a home, laying himself down on the couch in a very dramatic fashion, almost like it's a fainting couch. Here's perhaps a row from a cat as he beats it off.
So, care to explain what entirely happened?
Oh, that. Tell me something I don't know.
Thin bloods. You know about them.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's a coterie within Arlington of them. And along with this coterie, there happened to be followed by one, not sure what clan, family. What was his name again? Coffee? Blaine? The caitiff.
Yes, Blaine.
Blaine. They're more or less caretaken by someone named Blaine.
Blaine. Curious about that one. Coffee, I'll hold off on the politics roll for now.
Oh, okay. No, you guys already know who Blaine is, so.
My brain was stumped on that one, so I presume that I never made that roll. Okay. Anyway.
No, yeah. Y'all are aware of Blaine.
I actually don't know who Blaine is.
Oh, I thought everybody talked about it. Whatever.
Nope.
I'm gonna whatever it and say you all know, so it's fine.
I tried to end up taking our dear little Miss Alexandra out for dinner. She took exception to the cuisine. Not a big fan of Italian, as it turns out. But she suggested we stop someplace else. One things kind of got out of hand, as she might have ended up making a bit of embarrassment of herself. He went headlong into a refrigeration unit to end up being able to end up getting her meal that way. Just head down, butt out, the badonkadonk going up and down as she's thrashing around in there. And apparently, like, it got stuck on her head or something, and the beast took exception to this and proceeded to throw it across the room. And blood was over at that side of the room, so the beast chased, well, Alexandra chased it. And it was just a whole new thing. And by the time she realized this, complications arise. There was certain things she didn't want to end up letting know. And to be sure we didn't have a masquerade breach, after all, we have a second Inquisition on the field now. She ended up deciding to play around with the electrical and may or may not have burned the entire place to the ground.
What?
She came out of the place looking like a bloody wreck, got a few odds and ends, and I proceeded to end up explaining to her that coin-operated car washes are a thing in Texas.
How does committing arson stop a masquerade breach precisely? How does that hide evidence or activities?
It hides evidence because it makes ambiguity. While it's attention striking, it doesn't say vampires exist. Key difference. What sucks is that, well, if I had to guess, seems to me like Second Inquisition decided that they were going to take out something that allowed us a chance to feed. Maybe trying to starve us out. What do you think?
I mean, that's a way to look at it.
You're really serious tonight. I like this. This right here, this is a good look for you.
I don't like being in a bad mood.
You're in a bad mood. He leans closer a minute. This doesn't have anything to do with Rowan, does it? He's still doing well, I'm presuming. Still on this side of the grave.
Coffee, I'd like to make a rouse check.
A rouse or a frenzy? Which do you mean?
Blood surge.
Blood surge? Blood surge
Blood
it is.
surge.
Blood surge it is. What are you intending to roll?
It is specific for the intent and purpose. Damn.
You are getting hungrier.
I am. It's for the intent and purpose of dominate.
Dominate. What are you intending to do?
Compel. Bite your tongue.
Ooh. Okay.
Assault intelligence, I believe, is my counter on that.
Yep.
Yep.
You're going to make the discipline roll, and since compel is a free power and you've roused, you get that +2 bonus. Shriek, are you wanting to willpower?
No, I think this is going to be hilarious. As
you are literally biting your tongue.
Now, it's not going to be the, like, horrifically painful, because that would not allow the compel,
Right.
right?
But you
Because
are literally
you can't
biting your tongue
harm.
so that it does not move. And then you
Not a
come out of
trick.
it for a second later, yeah.
I need to make a point. You don't speak of him. You don't approach him. Ever. You stay as far
Nothing.
away from him as possible.
He just
So,
gestures to his mouth for a moment.
let's continue trading. I met with Colette tonight. She's an investigator. Her veteran sees that she's been in both Jackson, Mississippi, and in Dallas, Texas. Wait.
She did make a trip to San Antonio. She did mention that.
San Antonio. San Antonio. Between these two locations, she lost the prince, the courts, and the child. That's why she's here. And now she works for us. More precisely, I've made a bargain with her. I'll be your eyes, and she'll help us hunt this problem down. But we need to feed her information for it.
He nods for a moment. Would compel have worn off by this point?
Oh, yeah. It would have worn off a couple of seconds after you realized that you were biting your tongue.
I presume so, but I didn't want to take away the dramatic effect, nor the opportunity to try and speak while literally biting my tongue. Because Shriek would probably try and power through it.
He's just like enjoying the moment. He's there for it.
Ah. Oh my god, she found her fangs. Okay. There's a doctor who's been giving our dear coterie mate some troubles. Apparently he's really good at being able to figure out where things go missing, especially when it comes down to, shall we say, blood not found in the HR department. Could be a complication down the road. Now, while preserving the masquerade, we also managed to get a little bit of data. He might gesture to something that's covered up in the bloody clothing. That right there came out of the office that just ended up going kapoof tonight. Which means it's currently loaded up with a bunch of data that our dear Tremere is going to find very interesting. But if you happen to know something or have capabilities, I think that's an opportunity for you to get to it first. I'll throw in a bonus. There is... You remember Jake Kaufman, right?
I do. I'd agreed to meet with her. How'd you like to get in good with her? Depends. How much do you want me to get in good with her?
Enough to make sure that she has a leash of some kind. She's a free agent, so to speak, but very tied to traditions. Homebodies, in fact. All you need to do is check in and say you're helping her out with her housing problem. Don't say anything else. Keep it ambiguous. Saying that you took sympathy on her. Or polite. Call me a son of a bitch. Decide to end up saying that, you're doing this to spite me. Besides, nothing brings the world together quite like hating on somebody. You do that, you'll feel like she owes you. If only on principle. She's like that. You get a small bit of a windfall in that. She'll owe you, and she'll want to pay you back. She wants a place to start climbing. To start putting it back all together. I figure you can help her do that. And that makes you quite the little paragon of virtue in this little coterie. Between, the guy who can bench press a Buick on a whim, the psycho who apparently really hates refrigerators, and, of course, your beau.
All right. I can do that.
You do that, and that might give you just enough leverage to be able to end up starting to get a chance to do something that you really want to do. Make sure that nobody ever thinks of touching who shall not be named. Because that's what this is really about, right?
I suppose you're right.
If we want to protect the things that really matter to us, it's a matter of power and leverage. You might hate me, Anna, by the end of this, but I think I can live with that. Overthinking that you got yourself ashed because you didn't understand the game.
Is that what you think of me?
Do you really want to know what I think of you?
I do.
Right. What do you think of me? In truth. I'm really good at sniffing out liars.
I think you're afraid. As much as you try and be seen, in truth, you're afraid of being seen altogether. I feel like a lot of the times you just want to be a bad guy because that's the easiest route. I go against the grain. But wanting to be seen for who you are goes against the grain of what you are.
And what am
I'm still trying to find that out.
I think you're the most dangerous person in this domain. Not because of anything you might know or might be able to do, but because you haven't fully figured out what this is. Can lead to a mistake that might hurt somebody close to you. It might put somebody else in harm's way. And this look you're giving me right now, that's the first step. I think that eventually the blood is going to end up having its way with you. And when it does, anybody who's not ready for it is going to wind up ashed. Because they saw a sickly little girl who didn't know what was going on, rather than what they really are dealing with. And that mistake, it's gonna hurt them a lot. My job isn't to prevent that. My job is to hone that edge and hope that you at least have the ability to give it some direction in a way that really matters. Not a temper tantrum, random frenzy, but something smarter, more you.
I guess I have to thank you, Matt. Because you're the only person that's really seen when I'm not human.
Everybody else. Oh, go ahead.
Nope, go ahead. You have more to say.
No, I think that is a good place to call it.
That's what I was going to say.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you guys so much for playing. You guys are fantastic every goddamn time. I'm so glad to have you all as my players. Give it up, audience,
Yay.
for these people. I have... You can even spend channel points to applause if you want. I have
Mog's expression says everything.
I'm just like, oh, Alex tonight, what did we learn? Blood bags are harder to deal with than they should be. Oh, God.
Texas has coin-operated car washes. This is a very important thing to know as a vampire.
Texas is a car state. Yay.
It doesn't sound like something you would need to know. I assure you, in this specific setting, it is damn near mandatory. Keep quarters in your dash.
Oh,
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There are still car washes that run on coins. There are still vacuums that run on coins. So keep coins in your cars, people. Not everything is Google Pay or pay by credit card. They have those options, but coins will never do you wrong here.
I have to ask, Moxie, was it everything you hoped?
I'm going to decline to answer that question.
That done killed her.
Just
Ah!
imagining like fucking Alex sitting there being like, "Ooka shaka, ooka, ooka," with the fucking fire, and then Shriek is just like in the car going through some like folders, like, yeah, this is good. Looks
I need
back,
some fan art of
fire
this
in the
shit.
window.
It's like,
Yep.
okay, she took my advice.
Well, all of that was an iconic basic feeding scene, to say the least.
Oh my god.
Only-
BFS.
only-
Tried and true.
Only the best BFSs happen in this channel. I mean, Derek's are pretty good too, but I'm gonna
gotta
take.
up my game.
I've got to say that was chef's kiss. Everything that I could have hoped for as a storyteller, following you guys along on your journey towards the towards the clinic you had no hope of breaking into.
Oh god.
All right, Storm's
See,
Fates.
she would have done the same thing
Uh.
again that she'd done the previous night if they had gotten there earlier. But like, might as well make use of Shriek and his abilities.
Yeah, larceny is not Alexandra's strong suit. No, she goes
No,
and buys
it's
from
really
those black market retailers. She does not go and break into these wholesale places herself.
But like, one thing I realized is she does not actually have a specific connection for that.
The intelligence streetwise is just you know
Yeah.
how to find somebody who knows the thing, who
Probably
knows how
what
to
she's
get
gonna
it.
do next time.
Yeah, intelligence streetwise is probably the usual that Alexandra uses. In that we have proven today that she is not very good at dex larceny. For breaking into shit.
The expert.
Yep. Well,
This is what happens when I'm having a shit brain day.
Hey, yo, these are the best days though, because sticking it out and just kind of rolling with it. That's where we get BFS seeds like this.
Incredible.
And then Stone Cold Anna over here, kind of taking her Malkavian Bane into the next scene, where she's like socially awkward for that scene instead, which perfectly fine.
I didn't resolve it, so I'm just like, whatever. We're still rolling with it.
Roll with it. Yeah.
Roll it.
There wasn't a whole lot of being socially awkward with Colette, so it is perfectly fine. Yeah, it is perfectly fine that you carried it over into another scene. That is your choice.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do I take a stain for that? Because truthfully, burning down that place probably indirectly harmed somebody.
No one was in the building to be directly harmed.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So for the sake of the tenets of your Wiccan beliefs, I'm gonna say words as written rather than intended, because
so direct harm then.
Yeah, because that's how I mechanically am going to treat it.
Yep.
Tenets as written. Yep.
Still under the harm compulsion, aren't I?
Nope. That only lasts for one scene.
Oh, the compulsion?
Yep. Compulsions often only last for one scene.
Wow.
Oh, there's only certain ones that are prolonged, but yeah, the harm compulsion would have been during the scene that you were with Colette.
Well, hold on, now I gotta look at that. That's whack.
Harm, right?
Yeah, harm.
This compulsion ends when the vampire incapacitates, destroys, or drives away a target. If the vampire turns on an object, it must hold serious value to someone. It does not say that the compulsion ends with the scene. Not directly, at least.
It's usually in a duration line. Let me...
It does not specify that it ends with the scene.
Oh.
So,
well, I would have ended it at the scene, but that's completely up to you whether you want to carry it on. I'm not going to enforce it. I'm going to put it that way. Because you would have been away from the situation long enough to have calmed down.
all right. I'm gonna carry it just because it's funny.
Hey, if you want to hurt somebody, that is completely up to you. If you want your dice pool to suffer, that's completely up to you. I'm not holding you to that one. That's not on me.
I have an idea for a scene I want to do, but I need to run it past you first.
Absolutely. Feel free to send it to me in my DMs.
Cool, we'll do that, through DMs.
Yep, absolutely. That is perfectly fine. Raven, if you would be so kind as to get our experience poll up for our... Thank you very much, it just appeared. So, we're going to move on to some experience, because, you know, there are people who need to go to bed, such as myself, that we should probably get this underway. So, if you fulfilled your desire or you work towards your ambition, go ahead and recover 1 aggravated willpower. And each of you gets your 1 XP for showing up today.
Yeehaw.
Thanks a bunch for being here.
Thank you.
That is my prize to you.
Yeah.
And then of course, we have the roleplay prompts, much like Derek does in his own games on Sundays for San Jose. We do similar in that we have the players decide between the 3 of them who had moved the plot, who had the best scene for the night, and who had the best line for the night. And then, of course, there's the audience XP, which you, the audience, get to be a little bit of a meddler in how they progress as characters. So, get to meddling. So, who had our best... or who moved our plot the furthest today?
I'm going to say Shriek.
I'm going to agree.
I'm going to say Shriek specifically because he's kind of the one who ended up making Alexandra have to end up confronting a very screwed up situation involving feeding. Then the actual feeding scene for Alexandra, which went by so much worse. And then proceeded to end up getting the wrong end of Little Miss Twig.
Shriek being the instigator. But that is completely up to completely up to you players. So I heard Alexandra say that was a yes, but what about you, Spectre?
I mean, I would have thrown myself in for personal plot with Colette, but
An honorable mention. Yeah.
That's really all I got.
Okay. Well, unless there's any changes, Shriek it is. Best scene. I bet I know which one.
Alex burning down the fucking building. It's just so good.
I mean, if I could give myself points for narrating that whole the whole fiasco.
Ooh, it was good. It was good.
Oh my god.
But I'm actually going to end up saying Anna's first scene.
Ooh. A little bit of a contrarian here.
I'm going to say that specifically because that's probably some of the best insight we're going to get into Anna. watching how her brain works and seeing on things turn. That was probably more, well, it was zany and funny when it ended up coming down to the idea of Alexandra trying to get her head out of a fucking fridge in mid-frenzy. That's a moment. But as far as scene, like, really, like, holy shit, it's got to go down.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
I'm actually in agreement there that it goes to Anna. The bit that really caught my attention with it was the whole moment where she was like sitting in the car and like smelling his clothing and just like,
I just wanted to be creepy for a second. I'm glad it worked.
it was creepy, but it showed just how much she was missing that contact with him, and the fact that she was there with him, but it was like she wasn't.
Yeah. So close and yet so far. And that's the closest she can be to him right now, because she used to be like living together, sort of a deal, and then suddenly she was turned, and suddenly that's all gone to pieces. That's kind of the lore between the two of them. Yeah. So that is 2 votes for Anna. So
Okay, I've been outvoted.
well, Alex, you
I'll
get
take
the
it.
audience's favorite tonight. By 75% of the votes. Thanks, Raven Star, for
Thank you,
contributing
guys.
4,000 channel points toward that.
Okay. All right.
But our best line.
Okay, and this one has to. I know this is gonna sound weird, but this one has to go to Alexandra. Because no, specifically because the entire episode can be summarized in the line. Don't ask.
Don't ask.
Am I wrong, though? Am I wrong?
Man, if I did episode titles, that would be the one. I don't do episode titles, and that kind of would be the one.
Oh, good God. You know what? I'll take that.
No, like it would have come close, like legitimately. Specs' line was good. I know that Specs wanted to end up giving it to me specifically for that whole, then do it like a syringe, not a fucking vacuum cleaner.
I do love that line too.
It got me.
That line got me too. We had some bangers tonight.
Oh yeah.
Well, do we have an honorable mention for an Anna line? What was that line?
There was one that Derek mentioned before, and I can't remember what it was.
Bite your tongue.
Ah, yeah.
Because that is the first time we've ever seen Anna go on the aggressive.
It's true.
Is it a Hydra or an Ouroboros?
Oh, right. That one was really good.
That
too.
one.
That
was so poignant.
I like that.
No, thank you.
Fuck it, you all get best line.
No.
Because I'm being arbitrary.
Yay.
Oh, thank you.
Because I loved all of those bangers, so you know what? You're all gems. You're all gems in that regard. Yes, I am a benevolent god. You all should fear me. Do it like a syringe, not a vacuum. Alex goes in and does it like a garbage disposal. Thanks, Binary Dark. Thanks, Binary Dark. I love that. That's beautiful. That's fucking delicious. I love it. You know what, Binary Dark, take yourself an honorary point of experience for that.
You gotta give something for that one. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep, Ravenstar gifted a sub. Thank you so much,
Oh, that is too
Ravenstar,
perfect.
for that coffee that you have given Binary Dark today. Well, that does it for all of us here in the Dallas Fort Worth area. So yeah, thank you so much everybody for coming out and watching, and to all of my players for coming out and playing. Derek, you got anything special coming up this week on Drawing on the Macabre or Grim Gaming?
No, we are open up for commissions though, and it's going to be a bit of a day tomorrow. So hopefully everything ends up going smoothly. Today I took a little bit of time for myself playing some MTG, but tomorrow I'm hoping to be able to end up getting back on the drawing gig. So I'm going to wish you guys the best.
Yep,
and I
cranking
hope to
out
see
some
you there
drawings tomorrow. Nice. Specs, are you open for commissions yet? Or no?
Surprisingly, yeah, I am actually. Currently taking commissions. Generally speaking, I think I only have about like 2 slots available. So next 2 people who want to get some art from me, feel free, hit me up.
Hell yeah! Message them in there and
Yes.
send them a DM about
Yes.
details.
You can
And-
reach me on Discord at Spectre Deflector.
Yes, that's the best
So.
place to reach them. If you try to reach them through Twitch, you may or may not get a response.
That's true.
I cannot guarantee that you'll be responded to. But and Mox, we love Mox. Mox just does the tabletop with us, so
Mox is amazing.
Mox is good. Mox is good people,
And also an
I love
arsonist.
and also an arsonist.
Look, I have a
Sus.
lighter sitting right here. Don't tempt me.
See, she's just a sussy baka because
Yeah.
arsonists, if you mod the game. But yeah, thanks everybody for stopping in for our 20 viewers so far. So let's find somebody to raid. If you have any suggestions, you can use your channel points to guide the raid. But otherwise, we're going to find somebody from my follow list. So until then, say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Don't let the kindred bite.
I just wanted to feed.
And how?